gonna try to start on the front this morning. See if we can't get it knocked out, most of it anyway. And hopefully it goes a little smoother than the rest of it. I mean,
hey, I doubt it.
Okay.
And the steering box rotation kit we already done. So that part of the front's done. I just gotta pull the front axle out, cut the old brackets off, put the new ones on it. Yeah, it sounds pretty easy, but you know, probably not gonna happen as easy as what we hope, but you know. So I gotta get my feet down and I guess get going, cause it ain't gonna do it itself. And as Puddin says, sitting on your ass is not gonna finish your projects. So I gotta get started.
So we're pulling the front end out to get ready to strip part of the brackets off the axle, and we're going to change and add the TNT Customs front stretch coil bucket with the shock mounts. It allows you to move for your spring mounts. It slides back and forth, adjustable, so you can gain up to 3 inches of stretch in the front. That will go in with our TNT custom steering box rotation kit that we've got another video for. By now, I am already thinking, what the crap was I thinking for doing this? Because it was a little more work than what I was planning. But just got to get it all tore apart and get ready to take the plasma cutter to it and cut some brackets off. I got started, thought I was just going to be able to take the coil spring mounts off to change them, because that's the main thing, and the shock mounts. I had welded everything on a little better than I thought, and then after I got into it, we had to end up taking the lower controller mounts off, which I had luckily ordered TNT high clearance lower controller mounts also, but wasn't sure we was going to have to use them, but we ended up having to cut all of it off. So all 3 of them brackets had to come off, and like the shock mounts is made onto the new coil bucket mounts. So just getting it grinding down this. There's a lot of grinding, but I like to use what they call the flat disc. They go on the 4.5 inch grinder, kind of makes everything smooth. You can just smooth it out better to get everything cleaned up. So here we got the coil bucket mount in place, and you can see the slotted hole, and that allows you to move it, be able to slide it that much to position wherever you want the front end to be. I'm getting everything tacked in place. And here's high clearance control arm brackets that I was talking about, and I put the joints in them. I'm actually using the Barnes joints, Barnes 4-wheel drive, and I ended up putting them in there just so I knew I had to actually clearance the coil bucket mounts for these high clearance, with them joints is kind of big, so we got them all clearanced. So we got the axle back in and them little mounts there, but you can see I got the ones that the springs go around. That's where my bump stops. Actually, I got a spacer bolts too. Now we're getting ready to put the steering back on it. I actually had to make longer control arms, which is not we didn't get a whole lot of that. Had to make all 3. Mine's 3 link in the front, so had to make all 3 control arms brand new, make them longer, and all my stuff's square tubing other than the steering and the track bar. And this is actually the new track bar here from TNT that Tanner recommended. So if you call TNT for parts, you'll usually talk to Tanner, and he's really helpful. This is their bracket, frame bracket. You cut the factory mount off, and then this one goes up and moves everything forward. track bar is bent to go around the front pumpkin to miss it, and I had to have all that just to get the clearance. I am using, it worked out, and I'm using a factory TJ Pittman arm with a steering box rotation. Some applications you have to have a PSC flat arm that you drill a hole in, and I may have to change to that eventually if I decide to do something different. Had some issues here, just first time putting one of these brackets on, but just trying, I think it was just my axle wasn't quite in the center, so it was kind of pulling, the track bar was kind of pulling me. I had to use a little persuasion to get it knocked up on the frame, but we got it all in place and got it tacked and everything checked out. And here you can see I got the factory track bar cut off, so we missed a little bit of some stuff, but the factory track bar, I cut it off flat on the frame with the Sawzall, and the other one's welded on. Everything's welded in place and just testing so it's all back together here. Ended up, after we let it down and settled it, we ended up with a 102 wheelbase, which is pretty much what I was going for. So I have enough room to go a little farther forward, and I also have enough in the back with the full buckets to go a little farther back. But I'm pretty happy where it's at, and we got it all together and took it on the first test run out with just a Jeep meet in Mooresville, and it all drove good and worked out, and we're ready to go ride. The next upgrade is going to be tires, so keep looking for that video, and as always, we appreciate your support, and like, share, and subscribe, and we'll catch you later.